Hello and welcome back to another Gumloop tutorial. Today's a fun video because this is the first video where I am going to be going over how to actually build a full workflow from start to finish. We're going to be taking a look at a pretty simple one today, but I think it's something that almost everyone hates doing, especially if you're like me. Finding time and things to create content around is a big pain in the butt. I hate posting to my social medias, but I know it's important as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. I know that I need to be creating content for my social media, and it's still, even though I know that, I hate doing it, and rarely do I ever actually do that. And so I created a automation and AI automation through Gumloop to help me solve that problem. And so I'm going to be walking through the entire automation. I'm going to show you how to build it, give you some other ideas. And yeah, so this is the first one of this sort of series where I kind of take a look at a entire automation and show you how to build that out for yourself so that you can use that. If you like this content and you want to see more full workflows that I've built out or some other things that I'm building out, please go ahead and like and subscribe and do all those things. Give the video a thumbs up, all that stuff. This really helps me out and build more of this content. Shows me what you guys want to actually see and learn about. So, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the actual workflow. All right, so this is the actual workflow here, and you can see it's actually pretty simple. This is a very simple one, but very powerful as it prevents me from having to go and post on social media myself. So this is just a simple little thing where I'm taking the feed of my daily newsletter that I send out, and every single day I share that as a post on my LinkedIn account. And so I'm going to walk you through each of these nodes, and you can do this with a bunch of different stuff. You could, if you're not creating your own content for like a daily newsletter or something like that, you can find some other RSS feed. Maybe it's through, some news site or something like that, something that you like and you trust, and you could be just sharing that content, and it's just free, easy, gives you something to post. So you're consistently posting and engaging with your audience on things like LinkedIn. So a couple things to note here. We do have a trigger on here. And so if we click on this here, we can see that this is scheduled. And I've set this for every single day, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, right? And so I'll show you how to go ahead and do that first. So when you go in here, the triggers right here is what you're going to be looking at. And when you click on time trigger, this is what you're going to be looking for. So I'll delete this real fast to show you what that looks like. So this is what it will typically look like when you first start. You'll see this create a time trigger here. Clicking on this will bring up basically a little AI prompt to tell you how often you want this thing to trigger, right? And so what I said was every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. EST and generate. And that's going to select what we need here. So that was the prompt. We can see running at 2 p.m. Monday through Friday and the time zone here and max failure count. So if you keep getting subsequent failures for some reason, it can't trigger. How many times do you want this to delete? So, and this is not talking about the trigger failing. This is talking about if you have failures within the workflow, how many times do you want it to fail before it stops trying to run the trigger, because that means that you're using credits and you're not getting any benefit. It keeps failing, and you don't want to just keep automatically triggering and running through all your credits with a failing, right? So something to keep in mind. 3, I think, is pretty safe, especially for something like this. This probably should never fail, but so we'll create this time trigger, and now we can see that as soon as this is done, that has been successful, and we can see that here as well as up here. We can always click on this and get some information about this trigger here. So this next piece here is the RSS feed. So this is where it's all going to start. So from our trigger, every 2 o'clock Monday through Friday, this is going to run. This is starting with this RSS feed reader. And basically, why I chose 2 o'clock is I publish this feed. I try to publish it every day, at least by 9 o'clock. Sometimes it goes over 10 o'clock, sometimes 11. Um, Honestly, there's been a few days where I just haven't done it. So that might pose a problem in the future, but that's okay. That's on me to figure out. So basically what I have here is I've created the RSS feed within my newsletter. This is the, whoa, don't mess that up. Basically, this is the RSS feed from my newsletter, which I have through Beehive here. And I am pulling how many items from that RSS feed do I want to pull. And so I'm just pulling the most recent, number one. For me, these are the outputs from that RSS feed, that Beehive, which is the newsletter site that I use. This is what it gives me a pull from. So the URLs is the actual URL of that individual post. The description is the description of that post, obviously, as well as the title of that post. And I don't even use the title, so I can probably get rid of that. In fact, I'm going to do that. So then we trigger on to the next step, website scraper. So the description does not actually pull all the content, and the outputs from here does not give me all the contents from that post. So what I wanted to do first was I wanted to go and scrape that URL to get the actual post data itself, what I'm talking about that day. After I've scraped that, I'm going to pass that down into my Ask AI here. I'm going to pass both of these things. So the URL, the description, as well as the scraped content into this Ask AI. And here's the prompt that I've put out here. So I tell it, create a LinkedIn post about this content from the AI Daily newsletter, which is my newsletter, right? Be sure to include a link to the original newsletter URL. I want to always be passing traffic from LinkedIn to my newsletter if possible, right? That's just going to help me in the long term. And then I clearly define the newsletter content. So here's the actual content from the newsletter. I give it the description, and then I give it the newsletter URL so that it has each of those pieces and it can kind of figure out how to put those together. And then I'm just using the 4.1 mini model. I did a test and it worked pretty well. So I'm not going to worry about, going with an advanced or an expert model. I think the 4.1 mini did pretty well on this. And then you just pass that right into a LinkedIn post writer, and you will have to log in. So when you first drag this node over from your menu here, it will ask you to log in, but you have the LinkedIn post writer right here. And you are simply just going to drag the response from the AI into the content. So let's go ahead and save that. But yeah, creating content from an RSS feed automatically and adding it to something like LinkedIn or some other social media is pretty easy. Gumloop allows it to happen, and the AI is baked right in, so you're not making calls elsewhere. You don't even have to technically have a ChatGPT account set up or anything like that. You can use it right from here through the credits associated with your account through Gumloop. Pretty easy to do, 4 simple steps. I think it's one of the easiest builders out there for automations. I've used the Zapiers, the Makes, the NANs. I've used them all, and I really prefer Gumloop. Their UI UX is incredibly easy to use and navigate, figure out how to connect all this stuff together. And it's really just mostly logic. It's all logic-based programming. You don't have to really understand the language around it, as long as you just kind of think through, like, okay, there's lists of lists and I need just one single item out of the list. How do I do that? Some of it might seem a little daunting at first, but really it is one of the most easiest automation platforms there are out there. And I'm a big supporter of them. I highly recommend it. So if you want to check them out, there should be a link down below to check them out. And I think I also have a discount code down there as well. Get you 20% off your first month. I'm going to try to put more of these out here, of these series where I'm actually showing you one of the automations that I've actually built out within my own accounts for my own stuff or some of my clients. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. If you have an idea for an automation or something that you would like to see built out, drop a comment down below or reach out to me on my website. I'd be more than happy to connect with you offline as well to see if I can help you build that out or what I might be able to figure out for you. But yeah, until next time, see you around.